The 1968-69 school year has come and gone, and now only memories of the busy activities and classes remain. What is Washington High School really like? What does the typical student do in school? Let's look back and try to capture some of the happy, and sometimes not so happy, events of the past year. Early in the school year, sounds of the marching band can be heard as they play "Bow Down to Washington" for Husky touchdowns. The school day begins with every teacher leading his class in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who could face a busy day without first hearing the important items listed in the daily bulletin?
Here's the student bulletin, January 31st. General announcements. There'll be an A period today. All students, come to the rally at noon and say goodbye to Mr. Sawyer, our assistant principal. He's been appointed interim principal at Kennedy. He may be the head Titan, but let's make sure he never forgets the Huskies. The third session of driver education begins Monday, February 3rd. Check the lists in the patio, main building, and the window of the main office for your name. Juniors, return Monday or candy from the candy sale by...
Girls' PE has a special day each week which all girls look forward to.
Come on, girls. Now, sit up. Sit down. Up. 10 times. Sit up. Down. Up. Down. Swing that rusty gait. Don't drop the tempo, mate. Can't win dragging your feet. No, can't win dragging.
What's for lunch?
May I have your attention? We are now reading the school manual for today. Attention, please. We are having meatballs with vegetables. Over Alibaba rice. With cinnamon rolls. Popeye salad with zippy dressing. Cheese sticks.
Here's a place where you can get a date to remember.
Was the fact that they underestimated what kind of naval war it would be. It would not be a naval war in which ships of the fleet would exercise the major role. It would be a naval war in which air power launched off the decks of carriers or from the bases on the Pacific Islands would carry the brunt of the offensive. They couldn't know this at the time. But otherwise, their assumptions were not incorrect.
Fall means football, and at Washington, football means championships. Remember the 28-7 win over Newark? Here's a sound that goes against the grain, but not in woodshop. Did the rhinoceros in the fall play have one horn or two? He had a whole band full. We thought we'd have trouble finding a representative sound for our math department, but Mr. Russell worked out the problem.
Okay, this is how he does it. First he makes the ratio. He says tangent of 68 degrees is equal to x over 55 feet. Then he looks up the tangent of 68 degrees in his table, and what does he find? Tangent of 68 degrees is...
Who would ever expect a fire drill during shower time in PE? Well, it certainly took these young ladies up short. Just before Christmas, we found Ebenezer Scrooge out in the ag department. He was trying to teach the sheep to say, humbug. The big on-campus dance of the year was the Lee Man Sue dance featuring Carlos Santana and Cold Blood. Vamos a la clase de español.
Domingo el argentino, todos. Domingo el argentino. Tú eres de la Argentina, ¿verdad, Domingo? Everybody.
Tú eres de la Argentina, ¿verdad, Domingo?
Sí. Todos. Come on. Sí, pero hace ya 3 años que vivo en este país. ¿Sabías?
Girls, have you ever walked by the office in a miniskirt?
Young lady, that dress. Come here.
But Dr. Callahan, all girls wear their skirts this short.
Look, either the dress is too short or the underthings are too long. Either way, you're spending an hour in detention. Now go see Mr. Snyder.
Here's what you should have been listening to.
You are in here for detention purposes. You are to have something to do. There's to be no talking. You're not going to look like you're talking. If you look like you're talking, I will assume that you are talking and you'll be sent out. If you're sent out for any reason, you'll be sent to Mr. Snyder, and this will result in a minimum of 3 additional days in the D hall. There's to be no tapping of your feet, pencils, or anything else. Get busy and stay busy until you're dismissed. That's pretty strict. Get busy.
But because you didn't, you got to hear these cheerful words.
Okay, all right, young lady, I see here you were a no-show last night, and it says here, short skirt, signed by Dr. Callahan. How come she didn't go?
I forgot.
You forgot? Well, let's take a look here now. Yeah, this is the 3rd time you forgot. I can't go any further with it. It's going to cost you 3 days. You've had 2 no-shows already, and 3rd one, this one, it's going to be 3 days, effective tomorrow. Okay? And I'll give you these papers, and you take them out to Miss Jones, and then you've got to fill out some blue slips for teaching notification, too. Understand? Okay.
What's the difference between pornography and good art? It all depends where you draw the line.
How do you like it, Mr. Brennan?
Alan, you can't do that at this school.
That's beautiful.
The heartbreak of losing the basketball championship lasted a long time as the mission cheers rang in our ears. Make sure you go to all your English classes so them teachers can learn you to talk good and pronunciate words correct.
Amelioration, antithetical, and number 15, verisimilitude.
Kismet means fate, and the fate of this year's musical was nothing but success. As the closing curtain fell, the poet ends the tale of ancient Baghdad on a philosophical note.
Lovers come, lovers go, and all that there is to know, lovers know, only lovers know.
What is the only building at Washington High School that has more stories than the Empire State Building?
Let's remember that we have it quiet in the library.
It's nice to know that there are 2 thespians in the social science department.
That's one for you. In the meantime, though, we have a show to do, and we better get at it. Why don't you tell the folks how we've looked? Hi, and... Oh, no. That's the other thing we're doing here. Oh, yeah. And
I mean, we have to search around for faculty with a great amount of talent. And what did we find?
Student council is the place where student opinion is freely voiced without faculty intervention.
Put it in a bowl. Like you say, one thing. The most important thing here is once you set the precincts up, that you get all this information to the students. I mean, so they know student ID card numbers from 1 to 200 will go to precinct 1. And you make up a sheet, you attach it to the bulletin, and you put them in the teacher's mailboxes.
Commercial classes add up to a lot of noise. In the spring concert, the orchestra fiddled around and the band blew it. Well, boys, this should prepare you for the draft. Not all the hits at Washington are on the stage. All the girls in the water show signed up for AGPE, but they got Mrs. Arndt instead of AG. A lot of Husky girls tried out for the Yell Leaders this year, but none of them were chosen.
1, 2, 3. Ready, okay, orange, black, a team fight back, and then orange, black, a team fight back. Yay, orange, yay, black, orange, black, fight back. Okay.
This year's fashion show on the stage was just so-so, but it kept the audience in stitches.
All right, girls, now let's stand up straight and tall. Remember, models don't sit down before a show. Okay, now, let's show everyone just how gorgeous you are. Lights, camera, action.
The spring play, Under the Yum Yum Tree, was recommended for mature audiences only, but high school kids came anyway.
Hogan, do you really enjoy that sort of thing?
It's terrible.
I should think. Everyone knows promiscuity is a sign of basic dissatisfaction and immaturity.
Besides, it's damaging to character. People just don't realize. Sexual frustration is the mainspring of all the world's good, and I haven't been frustrated since junior prom.
Chemistry is one class that you might get a bang out of. The day has ended, and the silence descends upon the hollowed halls of the home of the Huskies as the final bell chimes.